When I look at the efficacy and efficiency of that, that it was at 1:30 a.m. and we still had people who were on standby. I'm looking at a system that is functional. For it to have divers at 1:30 a.m. being on alert, knowing that they are working, to me, it's a plus. It's kudos to them, to the systems that can be able to be alert like that. Hello everyone, welcome to Kioi Moments. Today we are bringing you news, sad news that has occurred in the US of collapse of Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. And it is sad, we woke up to that news that it collapsed last night at 1:30 a.m., meaning the morning of today, 26 March. At 1:30 a.m. and it is sad because it has some fatalities that have been reported, and their search for the people is still going on. So when we look at it, it is a day that is tragic in America, in Maryland, and especially in the city of Baltimore. And they're reporting that the bridge is very key in that area because it connects across the river two areas, and it is a long stretch of a bridge. It is 1.6 miles long, and it is also high from the waters because it is like 50 feet above the water level. So that is why you can see even ship can be able to cruise easily. But it's reported that at 1:30 a.m. of today, 26 March, while the ship was transporting cargo, it hit the bridge and it came falling down. The search for the people, definitely the divers were called at that late hour of the night and they are trying to look for the body, but we are still waiting. The news are really unfolding at the moment. And when I look at that story, I've been watching and looking at it. It is a very sad state of affairs because even at such a time at night, we still had 6 people who are working on that bridge. And to me, it figured to me in a very different perspective. On the bridge as well, it has been noted that we had some cars that were using the bridge, and because people will be reporting about who could have been using that route. When I look at the efficiency of that, that it was at 1:30 a.m. and we still had people who were on standby. By the way, in such an emergency, you look at all the parties, all the people who are involved. Like, there are some people who sometimes you don't remember that they're there, but they're on standby. For example, the divers. You can imagine at that time, I want to believe people were sleeping, but the divers were on alert. When they were called upon, they came and they were able to come and get onto their mission, get onto their work. So I'm looking at a system that is functional. For it to have divers at 1:30 a.m. being on alert, knowing that they are working, to me, it's a plus. It's kudos to them, to the systems that can be able to be alert like that. Because I want to believe we'll be able to tell ourselves by the end of it how important it was, maybe how many people were saved. Because as I said, it's more of the news are very fresh. We are still waiting to hear more about it. From this experience, we also look at it. These people who have been reported, they left their house yesterday in the evening, said bye to their families or friends, and they went to work. Maybe it was a 12-hour shift the whole night, however many hours they were to work. And definitely they were anticipating to come back to their houses in the morning. We also had their families and their loved ones who were expecting them to come. And I remember that is why when such incidences and accidents happen, they usually slow me down at times to the hustles and bustles of this world. And to know that we just need to be ready in every time, every minute. Because that's a bridge that is very old. They are saying it was started to be built in 1972. And it took 5 years. It's art of work, engineering work. So it took 5 years. It was opened up in 1977. It's a bridge that has been used by even heavy vehicles, and it serves like a population of 31,000 or so people use the bridge per day. And it has never collapsed. But you see, the day of accident, that is why they are called accidents, because nobody plans for accidents. Accidents do take and find us unaware. So this accident happened in a day just like any other. They just woke up, went to report to work as usual, and they continued to work. I don't know what time they started yet, but at 1 a.m., maybe they had worked for a couple of hours, and bang, it happened. And maybe even if they are still alive, some of them, because they were rescued, we are still waiting for more information. Even as colleagues, they might not know where the other person is. Maybe they were taken to different hospitals. How about if they are dead? Everybody died alone. May their soul rest in peace from Kioi Moments. To them, to their family, if they are injured, we wish them quick recovery, and we'll be following up to see with time how the story unfolds. But what I'm saying is, life is for the living. You who is alive, you are the one who can be able to humble yourself now. Me included, I'm asking myself, how do I prepare for accidents? How do I relate with people? How do I relate with my family? At times, because of the many things that we do in life, sometimes we become a little bit careless, if I can use that word, a little bit negligent, a little bit don't care, like we take life for granted. We take life for granted. We take people for granted. The people we see every day, sometimes they are skills. Yeah, maybe I could have seen such a diver and just ignore them. They say, this one, they only work once in a while. But even if they work once in a while, that is when that skill is expected to be done. And I remember I was watching something on the internet, and a story of a diver, and was saying how they have to wake up very early every morning, challenge themselves to swim across many, many kilometers, Oh, and this one has taken me to my country in Kenya at the show, whereby we have divers. And I remember when those divers are at the beach, maybe people are having their own family time and they are watching people on the sea. You'll see it as if they are very careless. They'll be sitting at the seashore. My country Kenya touches Indian Ocean, yeah? And many beaches, by the way, white beaches. We need people to visit Kenya and visit the white beaches. We are still on the story of divers and people that we might ignore. It has just crossed my mind. Being a live conversation, as you always say, karaoke is about life conversations, and we believe life is a journey. Every day has a journey it is in itself. We appreciate life. Okay, so if you look at the life of the divers at the show there, they usually just sit relaxed. It's like they are idle. It's like they are not working. But the charge when someone is drowning is when everybody in this life is important, and never take anybody for granted. They usually just dive into the waters and they swim. But then I'm in the category of, if it's swimming, I want where I can stand. I'm very hydrophobic, and it's on the same seashore by the Indian Ocean. I almost drowned many years ago, I think 2002. And since then, I'm very hydrophobic. And the same divers, maybe that is why this story is talking to me and being able to remind me of what is important. Do not ignore anybody. I went under. We were playing with boats and swinging across, and I missed to hold on it. I dived in, and my colleagues, because it was a youth group that we had gone out there for like 1 week outing, and I remember everybody was shouting. I couldn't hear definitely, but when I came up, I could hear karaoke. People were shouting, she's drowning. And by then, divers were already into the ocean. But fortunately, I was able to bring myself towards the shore and swim. But I think that scare is too much. We really want to appreciate each and every person in life, even the ones who seem as if they don't. And that is why in life conversations, we say everybody is somebody. So when we look at it, back to our story, look at the systems at work, because I'm still impressed how they came so quick. They were able to bring out a few people. And another thing that I've learned, we have a few people from that area including, I think, emergency workers. They were able to stop people from crossing over, because I know the immediate thing in a scene of an accident is for people to go there and see. And when people do that to an emergency or an accidental scene, they reduce the efficiency and efficacy, because people will be trying to remove you from the scene, maybe resuscitate, maybe be able to do the first aid. And that is why I'm amazed that they were able to contain. But looking at it, it also happened at an awkward hour, which at times I think nature has its own way and God has his own way of preventing maybe even more disasters. Because you can imagine if that bridge is used by 31,000 people per day. So given a time when it happened, if it was like, for example, 1:30 p.m., not a.m., or during the working hours, or maybe in the morning at 8 a.m. when everybody is going to work in the US, using the ES time, you can imagine maybe more people, more cars would have been trapped, more people, more damage could have occurred. So at that time, we still have a few people who died, and it's an awkward time of the night, meaning many people are supposed to be sleeping. But you can see also the charging. They were able to come out and they were able to help. But at the moment, the discussions are what could have caused the cargo to hit the bridge. There'll be so many theories, and they're interested to even investigate further. They are thinking, could it have been the caused by the human resource, the manpower, maybe the captain of the ship? Could it have been the ship itself? Maybe it was having issues, engineering issues, or maybe any other issue that could have caused it wreck. They're also wanting to investigate, could it have been negligence? How could it have been avoided? But at the moment, definitely at the moment, the interest is the souls, the bodies, the people who have lost. And people are registering. If they were expecting one of their persons to use the bridge and they're still missing, they're registering. We've even seen the governor of Maryland coming out and encouraging people and sharing with him, with the people, his sympathy, and looking forward to getting more investigations and getting to know more of what could have caused this disaster. So people are just reporting and saying who is missing, maybe in their family or a friend, and they're registering it. The rescue mission is still continuing. Definitely these initial hours is still the very initial hours of an emergency. So the search is on an active mode. As we know, there's the active mode of any emergency response. Then we'll go to moderate as days dwindle. And then there'll come a time when maybe the hope of being able to rescue someone is no longer there, and rescues usually and emergency missions are usually reduced towards the end, when the professionals will be able to say, we feel like we've done our level best. What I mean, this being still the first 24 hours is still one of the very high charge of emergency, where the search and the emergency team, the divers, the doctors, everybody is on search. Definitely the newscasters were seen on that field and waiting to inform the nation and the world in general about what has happened. So we want to wish, as Kioi Moments, we want to wish the families involved, the friends and relatives, calm moment, comfort at this time, and peace. For the ones that are in the hospitals, any casualties, we want to wish them quick recovery. And in case we have any that have demised and died, we want to wish them the families comfort. And we are mourning with them, though even from a distance, like us, we are shooting from UK, and I want to believe the whole world, we are with them in this mournful period. It is so disastrous. We felt we just wanted to come and empathize with you and bring our sympathy and our condolences to any that could have died, and we will be looking out for more information about this story. Thank you so much for even the county of Maryland for being able to respond within very short time to try and gather the facts that you could have found. To me, this is patriotism. You are not voted just for votes to sit on those chairs. You are such a role model. Everybody in legislature who saw it fit to come out, because sometimes this is a lesson. Oh, it has just dropped in my heart. This is another lesson. Sometimes during campaign, the canvassing for votes from our legislature can be very high. very high, very interesting, wanting even to be voted in. When you're voted in, you forget this is a time like this that the people will feel connected to their county governor and everybody. So kudos to that. We want to thank you for all the emergency workers, the divers, and everybody involved and people involved in reporting. We appreciate you. May you be given strength and comfort even as you continue. And for that, we want to wish you the very best, even now, and comfort and peace as we wait for more news. And in other news, we come back to Africa, our motherland. In Africa, we have a country in West Africa. This is Senegal. Senegal, in less than 48 hours, has a new president. And this president is a very young president, President Bassirou Diomaye. This elected president was born in 1980, which makes him 44 years. He's a young president, but the country of around 17 million people have trusted leadership to him, elected, and he was even in the opposition. I think having an opposition person arising to be the president, it's also a tick. He was trusted, and maybe even trusted by people in government as well and people in the opposition. But he has been voted in, elected as the president. We want to congratulate Senegal for such an action, that you can be able to trust a young man if you saw value as countrymen, if you saw virtues as countrymen and women, definitely. You saw it fit that you're having hope in him and faith in him to lead your country. So we just want to thank you so much for doing it. And especially also there's quite a lot of peace. Sometimes elections don't come with a lot of peace. There was peace, and we wish you all the best. And I want to believe, as a young president, as you said, you're going to steer your country. President Gaye, we wish you all the best. And especially in every election, there will be those ones who are for you and those ones who are not for you. I want to believe you're going to unite the country. The ones who felt they didn't vote for you, tell them the elections are over. It's not about the stamping. It's about being grateful that Senegal belongs to everyone, the ones who voted in you and the ones who didn't vote for you. And as you lead, may this country gain its glory and be one of the countries that can be emulated, not only in West Africa, but in West Africa. I think we have a generation that wants also to be hopeful, a generation that wants to feel like, yes, we can do something. One of our own, even as an African, can be able to steer our country forward. And even there's a generation that is believing in change and believing in their continent. This is a generation that we want to encourage. So please, we might not be Senegalese, but we are supporting you. We are supporting you as an African nation, because we want, as we eye you, other nations will also be hopeful. Other nations, by the way, you have a hard task. You're not only for Senegal. Africans, we are watching, because we'll have hope. The neighboring West Africa, the East Central, and the entire Africa, by the way, the whole world. We can also start believing in younger generation. We can also start believing power is not equal to age. Yeah? But it doesn't mean we will leave the old ones. No, we will be going for wisdom, for encouragement, those ones who maybe have led parastatals, who can tell us, hey, here you're going bad as a young person. But we can also have leadership from young people. So we salute you, and the people of Senegal, we salute you. We wish you all the best and continue helping us to see there is hope in Africa. We wish you all the best. Have you subscribed to Kioi? If you haven't, kindly subscribe. Continue watching our videos. Let us continue growing our Kioi Moments family by staying on and watching, by commenting, by liking. By the way, we don't mind even inboxes. Tell us what can help you to enjoy Kioi Moments in life conversations, any life conversation, anything that you believe this is a journey in this life. Nobody has reached yet. You might be feeling like you have reached, you are rich, you're poor, maybe you are old, you are younger. It doesn't matter, because life is a journey. Walk in it. Till we get to see you again, stay put. Thank you.